We're certainly cashed up. We've got the drill program lined up, but importantly, we've got a project that we think is really going to grow and potentially substantially. And I think the news flow that's going to come through this year is really going to change the way people have previously seen Kairos.
Kairos Minerals Managing Director Dr. Peter Turner is in studio with me now to discuss the company's Mount York Gold Project. Peter, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, we're going to talk about the Mount York Gold Project in the Pilbara. Can you talk us through what the project is and why you're so excited about it?
Well, we're really excited about it for a number of reasons. One is probably a lot of people have not really heard about Mount York in the past. That's partly because the company's been strategizing last year and doing deals. But effectively, the gold project is a 1.4 million ounce gold project. The important thing to note, really, and it distinguishes us apart from our peers, is that the mineralization is contained largely in a single open pit. The metallurgy is very clean, but there's enormous upside in terms of the resource there. So I've mentioned it's 1.4 million ounces, but we think with all the technical work that we have and the deal that we've done with Pilbara Minerals, our neighbor to the north, we feel that this project is going to grow significantly in terms of resource growth.
And you've mentioned in the notes that you sent to it, the consistent mineralization is over 3 kilometers, so it's quite substantial.
Yeah, it's very substantial. We've drilled it out, really not in any detail, but certainly what we see is that the mineralization is consistent along 3 kilometers. So we can put a hole into what we call the main trend, comprising three prospects called Main Hill, Breccia Hill, and Gossan Hill. We can put a drill hole into any part of that 3 kilometers and we can hit mineralization. And that's actually quite unusual for gold projects. It's very unusual to have consistency on the mineralization, and that really helps us, I suppose, when we come to develop the project in terms of the mining of development and mining of the project.
And fully funded too. You got 12.4 million in the bank, so all ducks are in the water here.
Well, not just 12.4 million in the bank, but we also expect another 10 million to come from a deal that we did with Pilbara Minerals at the end of 2024. So not only are we fully funded moving forward on the 20 to 30,000 meter drill program that we're about to start, but also through to the completion of the feasibility as well, which is moving forward quite nicely.
And you're about to start drilling. That's coming up fairly shortly. What do you hope to achieve through this upcoming drilling program?
Well, the drilling's going to hopefully satisfy two things for us. It's going to test our ideas and our strategy to make this into really quite a large project. We consider it already to be a large project, 1.4 million ounces, but really our strategy is to grow the resources well above the 1.4 million ounces. And secondly, we want to convert the lower confidence resource category material into a higher confidence category. So that means moving inferred resources through to indicated resources. And we'll do that really by drilling deeper in deeper parts of the mineralization and extending along strike as well, and popping a few holes into some of those higher grade pods that we've found at the end of 2022.
And one of the priority areas there is the Main Hill extension. Can you talk us through what that deposit means to you?
Yeah, so we've already mentioned that the Mount York Gold Project is 3 kilometers long. But what we know is that the mineralization continues onto the Pilbara Minerals ground. And what we've negotiated with Pilbara Minerals and are actually in continuous negotiation with to get access to that additional 1.5 kilometers of additional mineralization that we know is there through some reconnaissance drilling that Pilbara have done. So at the end of last year, we did sign an agreement. We sold them a license to the north of us that was non-core to us. But in return, we negotiated to acquire the gold and base metal rights to that additional portion to the deposit itself. And we're so excited. We're in the latter stages of negotiation to complete that transaction and to get access to the ground. And I think all of the geologists in this office are really excited to see what is across the boundary and to basically put some detailed drilling in, including a lot of diamond drilling into that deposit and extend those resources that are not currently part of the resource estimation for the company.
So really a lot for investors to look forward to. It's going to be a busy year this year.
Certainly, it's going to be extremely busy for us. We're certainly cashed up. We've got the drill program lined up, but importantly, we've got a project that we think is really going to grow and potentially substantially. And I think the news flow that's going to come through this year is really going to change the way people have previously seen Kairos. We will be putting out new press releases, new drill results, and ultimately a new resource estimation a little bit further into 2025.
Lots to look forward to. Just one final question, Peter. Kairos, it's an interesting word. Can you talk us through what it means?
It's an interesting one. I get asked this quite a bit, but Kairos is a biblical term, from what I understand. It means the right moment or the opportune moment. And I think this is quite interesting that we feel that 2025 is probably our Kairos moment. We've got a lot of things happening in the company. We want to grow the resources. We want to move towards a development, and certainly we're well funded to do that. So let's see if 2025 is really our Kairos moment.
And you've got a corporate video that on the website, a new video that explains everything that's going on. So there's a lot to look at there.
Yeah, I certainly urge people to look at the website and have a look at that corporate video. It really does sum up in a few minutes who we are, what we're about, and what we're trying to achieve, and also gives a bit of perspective on the valuations, the current valuations of the company. And I'll leave it to investors to understand, but we're certainly very excited about who we are and what we're doing this year.
Peter, good luck with all the work to come. Thanks for your time today.
Jonathan, thanks very much.